is the Rambling Hour with Lisa, Season 2, Episode 9, and it is February 28th, the last day in February. So I'll be honest, I've had a really good day, but I have been shit for this live. I realized less than an hour ago while I was in the shower that I didn't ask anybody to be my guest this week, so I realized I didn't have a guest and just everything. But one of the reasons is that I was outside with Steve and Thomas, and we were working on cutting down that tree and using the shredder to get that done. So most of my day was outside. So then getting in, doing my workout, having a shower, getting ready for the live, making supper, and now here I am, a few minutes late, but I'm here. But I didn't do much of a background, and I don't care. But I also have no idea what we're going to talk about tonight either. So just bear with me and help me out. All right, so as soon as anybody who wants to comment can give me some topics to talk about. Hi, Chantel. Chantel, tell me, how is your family doing? Thank you. Well, I think I told your mom that, thank you for the Christmas card and photos. But I haven't read the letter yet. It's still sitting beside my bed waiting for me to read. But, yeah, so how is the family doing, Chantel? I know you watch these sometimes, but you never comment, really, so feel free to comment. Ask me any questions that you want to know. And I can't see who else is watching, but if you have any questions or things that you want to know about me, or the family, or anything else for that matter, just let me know. Sorry, I'm just listening to the kids in the background. Hello, Melody. So my sister Melody is making, oh, I forgot already. She's making muffins and something else right now, but I can't remember what it was. Thomas and Erica made these really cool shirts today that they saw online, that you take a shirt and you put it, I don't even know if it's around something or if it's just the shirt, and they put elastics on it, and then they put bleach water and spritzed it on it and everything, and then it's kind of like tie-dyeing but with bleach, and they did it and it worked out really, really well. It looks really cool. Oh yes, Melody is making bagels and muffins. I've never made a bagel at home, so that is exciting. Have you made bagels before, Melody? And are you making them in a bread maker, or are you making them in the oven? See, now that lemon blueberry muffins, that sounds so yummy. Now that I don't have a guest and I don't know what to ramble about, this is when it goes to rambling, where I'm talking fast. I just like losing my mind. So if you guys have any topics to talk about, let me know. Hi, Mommy Put. She called me Lily Put. That's one of my nicknames. So, what else? I know that my mom's been getting, she's really good at getting rid of clutter in her house. So over the last few years, she's just been getting rid of more and more and more stuff. So I know I talked to my little sister Tina yesterday when she was at my mom's house, and they were getting rid of more stuff and just asking me if I wanted certain things or anything. So Melody says that she's making them in the oven and that she's made them many, many times. So that's cool. I don't even know what the recipe, what the different bread recipe is for bagels, what makes them be that doughy type of texture. But maybe I'll have to try it one of these days. Although, as you guys know, I have so many things that I'm supposed to be making in the kitchen that I haven't made. Today's mine and Steve's last day for eating lots of carbs, so I made homemade hamburgers. Well, not homemade hamburgers, they were frozen. They're brisket burgers, and yeah, they were frozen, but brisket burgers and some crinkle cut chips in the air fryer. So that is what was for supper for Steve and then me later when I go and eat. And the kids just had pasta. I don't know what they made their own dinner tonight, so I know there's pasta, but I don't know what they had on it or anything. I didn't pay much attention. Like I said, I was outside all day, and it was sunny, and it was nice weather, and Tom and Steve and me were cutting down the tree and shredding it in the shredder, and it was a really good day, so I was happy about that. I took a few pictures of some flowers that are starting to come up, and checked on things in the greenhouse. But other than that, it was just cutting down the tree, which also gets me excited about building the extension onto the house. Because even if that's a bit away, it's still a step at a time. So the first step, cutting down the trees. Too bad you didn't get a little bit of my mom's writing something, but I don't know what too bad I didn't get a little bit of, I got a little bit of sunshine. Sorry, it's bugging me that this plant's not in the middle of the pot, so I gotta turn it so it looks like it's in the middle of the pot. Oh, snow. My plans for March are to get my visa done, because that has to be in by the end of April. Well, 28 days, no sooner than 28 days of the end of April. So I have to get that done. And I was cleaning up some stuff in the loft and reorganizing, and I want to get rid of a bunch of stuff. But anything that we want to get rid of, that, like, there's lots of things that I need to put onto, like, the marketplace on Facebook or whatever to get rid of them, you know, to make a little bit of money. It's not really about the money, but it's just stuff that, well, some of it's some pretty nice stuff, but we just don't want anymore. So yeah, so that, I still need to print pictures for my frame, so that's on my list. And then honestly, even being outside just a little bit today makes me want to be outside every day, all the time. And even if we had snow right now, I would try and be in the greenhouse. I haven't even started any seedlings. Oh, that's something on my list today too. I mean, not today, but this week. I have to post a bunch of things, including seeds that I wanted to give to some of you guys. So I will be posting that out this week. And I need to go to the bank, and I do write to-do lists, so I know that I have all this on it. It's just a matter of if I actually get it done that day. Greenhouse seeds, starting seeds, posting things. There was something I was going to say about that, but I can't remember what it is right now. So you guys had more snow. So plans for March, and 40 days. So it is Easter at the end of March. I can't remember, but okay. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So one of the things I did in the loft is when we buy new things, we keep the boxes, the original boxes, for at least a year. Some electronics and stuff will keep the boxes for longer than that, but I went through a huge amount of boxes that were up in the loft and threw them all down, and they're still on the landing, so I have to go through and see if there's any cords in them or anything else, and then flatten them all and bring them to to recycle them. So, but when I did that, I also brought down the Easter and spring decorations. I have decorated out here for St. Patrick's Day, and but I brought down the Easter and spring decorations, which I would like to do as well. So that is some plans for March as well. What are your plans for March? You can tell me in the comments, and then I can comment on that. This is the good thing, is that we know I can ramble. I'm so sad that I don't have a guest, though. But the thing is that there is a few people that I wanted to be my guests, and I know that there's some people who said they would, but then they don't know when is a good time, and it's just about working it out. And I will do that when I'm on top of things. But also, if you want to be my guest, let me know, because that would be great. Tell me what Sunday you're available, and then I won't run into situations like this. Okay, so Easter's in April. First week of April. Yeah, okay, that makes sense, because I knew it was because 40 days for Lent, and we already had Ash Wednesday a few weeks ago, so yeah, I didn't give anything up for Lent this year. I was raised Catholic, but I'm not a practicing Catholic, but I still like to do it because it's a good challenge to see if you can give something up, and I have in the past, but sometimes it just sneaks up on me and I forget all about it, and then I haven't thought of something to give up. And it used to give up pop a lot for Lent, which can be challenging, but I haven't given up anything for Lent this year. Have any of you guys given up anything for Lent? And if so, what have you found the hardest to give it in the past? What have you given up that you find is the hardest? Another thing that I did today is I put my hair in a butterfly clip, or one of these clips, actually. Is that no, the other ones are called butterfly clips from back in the day. But I haven't used one of these in a long time, but I just thought I would. Well, actually, I was going to try and see, my hair is too long now, and I don't know if it'll work, but in the past, when I was younger, I used to take it in the back like that, and then roll it, and then put it in the back, and then, you know, flip this part and it would be like that, but I didn't know if it would work with my hair being so long. But actually, yeah, it still works. I haven't done that in a long time. Mind you, I don't work out of the house, and because we're still in lockdown, I don't go anywhere. But our lockdown is slowly being lifted. So kids go back to school, both college and like all schools, March 8th. So that's something that's happening in March as well. Melody gave up barbecue chips, well, chips in general. So for here, that's crisps. And yeah, me and Steve do that often enough, because when we do our no carb week or our low carb week, well, maybe on a low carb we might have some, but on no carb weeks we can't eat any crisps. That is how my hair is right now, Melody said. And actually, that's true, Melody. Your hair has always been pretty long, and you do your hair like this too, so it looks cute, I guess. But I think it looks better down. It feels better like this because it's not in my way, but I think it looks better down for if I'm doing something like this. There's so many things that I was thinking about. There was something else that I thought that, oh yeah, okay, so school, with the kids going back to school, this has to do with my spiritual life and everything else. I want to start doing some automatic writing. It's when you let spirit write through you. So I don't know if you're a songwriter or you've written poetry or screenplays, anything that you write, or it happens with art as well, where sometimes it feels like an idea just comes to you and it comes through you. So you might be writing and the words are coming faster than you can even write them down, and then after you read it you're like, oh, that's really good, and it's being influenced by spirit. So something that I want to practice once the kids are going back to school, I want to start doing different yoga poses and really getting into my yoga more, where the house is quiet and I can focus and really try doing different things. But I also want to do something with automatic writing, and it's nothing that, I don't know, it's basically conversations with people who've crossed over, and I just want to ask questions and then write down the answer and see if I can get some dialogue. I would love to be a working medium and do readings for people, but I haven't practiced enough, and so I would like to make my connection with spirit stronger in just my own personal way first. So just keeping, like I said, asking questions and writing down answers, and then once I'm more confident and stuff, I can start maybe giving readings for people. So that's something I want to do in the next few weeks. Erica's just coming to say goodnight. Nope, she's just waving. Okay, I love you, honey. Sleep well. I've given up an article. What? A close-up a day for 40 days. I don't understand. You've given up an article. Oh, given up an article of clothes for 40 days. So every day you get rid of something different. Is that what it is? Well, today I'll be getting rid of this shirt after I'm done my live. And actually, I've clipped it at the back with another one of those little clips. That's why what made me think to use one for my hair. But the last few times, it just went too low, and I just thought maybe I shouldn't show everybody my boobs. So, yeah, it's a really cute shirt. It's maybe, well, I don't know if it's necessarily like a cougar print or like whatever, those cheetah, I don't know. But it's like a teal, brown, and black, white. And actually something that's happening, especially with me working out, whether I want to admit that my body's changing or not, even if I don't see it, some of my clothes is just getting, because I've kept so many things that I've wanted to wear, but I don't go anywhere, so I don't wear the clothes, but I want to get rid of the clothes. So now I'm putting them on, and I'm finding that some of them are just really big on me, and that's a good thing, but also it's a good thing because I am, that means my body is getting better, but a bad thing because then the clothes doesn't fit me, and so at least it looks cute enough for a show like this. And it was thrown together in a few minutes, as I said at the beginning, of how my day's been and why I was a few minutes late and why everything's just so, and why I don't have a guest, and I'm just yeah, but I'm still gonna ramble for my hour because that's what I do, whether anybody watches this or not. And it gives me practice for being in front of the camera. It gives me practice with rambling and whatever else. And some people do like watching these. It's weird how I keep hearing about, people are excited about these. And I mean, it seems to get views, but I don't see necessarily the viewers watching while it's live, so they might watch it later. But every time I think maybe I won't do these, then I get like people saying, oh, your live's on Sunday, or you know, you should do this for your live, and like people want me to keep doing these, so I will, even if I'm only just talking to myself or to my sister and my mom and to Samantha. I don't even know if she's on right now, but you know, my regular peeps. So yeah, now you're making me think of food. I'm gonna have a nice big fat whole wheat bun with a brisket burger and a few chips. Well, I'm gonna make it. My portions have really changed in the last, I'd say, week or so as well. Like I have really cut down on my, like I don't, especially if I do my workout later, like this. I seem to not be, and again, obviously it makes a difference if you're eating breakfast and eating lunch, then you're not as hungry for dinner. But yeah, like, so instead of having like, you know, 1 or 2 burgers and a huge poutine or lots of chips, I might only seriously have like about 10, maybe 10 chips and just make it into a little poutine. And because the burgers are so big, just one burger, and I can even see it now, like one burger and the chips might, that like, yeah, it's gonna be filling. So maybe I'll cut my burger in half and I'll eat my 10 chip poutine and I'll eat half of my burger, and then I'll see how I feel, because overeating is not good either. So naturally my portion sizes has started to change, which is great. And like I said, today's last day for carbs, so I know that also when we're on carb week, it doesn't mean that we need to eat all like crap food. We can still eat like good carbs on carb week, but we've had pasta this week. We've had fish and chips. Chips are just easy to throw in the Ninja, but at least they're made in the air fryer instead of the deep frying. But no, we have had some good meals this week, and I want to do more different meals again this week. So I guess that's part of my thing for March too, is trying different meals and everything. I have a big head of cauliflower that I need to do something with, so maybe I'll make some bolognese sauce or some type of pasta sauce, and me and Steve can have that on cauliflower tomorrow, and the kids can have it on pasta. I also have some spaghetti squashes that are still good from that I grew last year, and they're in the garage, so I have that we can have this week as well. And yes, so those are some replacements for us instead of having the potatoes and so instead of potatoes and rice and potatoes and rice and pasta, which we would eat on carb week, when we're not eating carbs, then I will have sweet potato, cauliflower, or like I said, spaghetti squash or any type of squash, like things like that for the base, and then the sauces and the meat and everything with it. So I have to go shopping as well. I have to go shopping tomorrow because I'm out of some things. So yeah, maybe I'll make a meal plan before I go shopping and then see what I want to make this week. And yeah, Melody says, I love that spaghetti squash lasts so long. Yeah, I know, but like seriously, I almost am ready to put some spaghetti squash seeds to start growing again, and I have some in the garage. It is really, really good, especially because they don't sell them here. I mean, you can't even get spaghetti squash seeds here. Well, I guess I could probably order them, but it's not like in Canada where it's one of the normal squashes that we grow there. So I have given seeds and seedlings and everything to people here. Whether they're saving seeds from them or not, I don't know. I know Trisha's on right now, Steve's mom, my mother-in-law. Hi, Mom. And so both of my moms are on right now. And she's had spaghetti squash, and so is my father-in-law, Pierce. He's grown some, but I don't know if they've eaten them or if they've kept seeds or anything like that. And then Samantha, her parents have had them, so I'm not sure how they have been. And then my friend Brian, I've given him some before, so I'm not sure. But I've been saving seeds from them this year because I need to grow some more. And I need to actually get some different squash seeds from Canada, because Steve bought me some years ago when he was going on the retreat, and I just am out of them now. And of course, I didn't save a lot of them because I thought, I don't even know what I thought, but I didn't save. I have some of them that I've saved, and we'll see how those go. But some of them I'll have to re-buy from Canada or get somebody to send them out to me. So is there anything you guys want to know about? Anything? Anything? All my viewers there? I noticed that in some of the pictures that I add to Facebook, like the one when I'm doing the headstand, and there was something else. I can't remember what it was, but I'm wearing my, and I'm wearing them now. I know they're quite a few years old now, but I might need to get some new ones. But my owl slippers, so I might need to. They're still good, but yeah, it's funny how like some pictures that I post, like when I do my workout, if I do my yoga, I do them bare feet, my yoga, but then I put on my trainers, which are like running shoes in Canada, and they're right there, and so I put them on to do my workout, but most of the time I'm just in my, let's call them house shoes, my slippers. So yeah, even though I'm wearing clothes, I could stay in my trainers all day, and I have other pairs of trainers, but these are just easy to slip on. What other squash do you like? Hi, Mike. Thanks. Butternut squash. Yeah, well, butternut squash is the one that they sell here, like pretty much the only one they sell here in stores. And I have grown acorn squash, and that's okay, Mike. And to me, the squashes taste the same. I really have to do this taste analysis and see if there is any squashes that I like more than others. The thing about the spaghetti squash, obviously, as you know, Melody, and I don't know if others know or not, but and my friend Bernie, I have given her some too, but that's who I did the videos for. So I showed on the videos that I posted a long time ago, and I can post them again for people who don't know about it, and if they want some seeds from me, how you can get it to be stringy and how it replaces spaghetti. So that's what's great about spaghetti squash, but the flavor of it tastes the same to me as other squashes. So I'm not sure if there is that huge of a difference in taste. Maybe there is, and I'm just not noticing it, but I have to really do a taste test and see which ones, one might be more nutty. What was it? Oh, Jerusalem artichokes. So I've been growing Jerusalem artichokes for a few years, and you can grow them in Canada too, actually. I think they're from North America originally. They're in the sunflower family, and they get like super duper duper tall, and the flowers are really small, yellow, like daisy like flowers. And so it's not like hugely significant for the flowers unless you have a place where you want something really tall. But what you can do is you can buy them in the supermarket as well, but you can eat the tubers. And they said that they have a nutty flavor. So I've been growing them for a few years. You got to be careful too. And I'm not sure if it's the same in Canada, but it might be that they tend to they're not invasive, but the patch will keep growing out. And so you got to either grow them in a big container or just keep them in an area that you don't mind if they spread out a bit, or dig them up and eat them. But they also say that you should only dig up what you're going to eat when you're going to eat it. Don't dig them up to store because they don't store well. So I've been growing them for a few years, and I haven't tried them yet. So, I mean, the ground's not frozen right now, so I might, maybe this week I'll go out and dig some up and see how they taste. Do you know that dahlias, that you can eat dahlia tubers as well? That's a big food, and actually they make flour out of it, grind it and make flour out of it in some places as well. I know some of the dahlia flowers are just too beautiful to even think of eating the tubers, but I wonder how it tastes. So maybe I'll focus on some of that this year and just seeing. I'm already growing things. The thing that they suggest is when you're starting gardening, like vegetable gardening and stuff, fruit, vegetables, start with things that you're actually going to eat. So, don't grow something like, I grow strawberries, but I can't eat them. But obviously, Steve and the kids can eat them. But, what's a good example? I don't know, beans. Say you don't like beans and why are you growing beans then? What are you going to do with them if no one's going to eat them? So start with things that you actually are going to eat. So I have a lot of garlic growing. And so what happened last year is I had these garlics growing, and I can't remember, or I accidentally pulled the tops off when I was doing something. I don't remember. But then I thought, oop, maybe I killed my garlic. But I think what happened, because it wasn't time to the tops weren't yellowing and everything else. But you know how like a garlic, so you plant one clove to become what's the word I'm looking for? Not a bulb, but like a whole, thing of cloves. And it must have started growing to a certain point. And when I pulled the top off by accident of these, I don't know if I didn't pull the top. I was doing something in there and I damaged the tops and they kind of died and I thought maybe I killed them, whatever. But this year it's like, so say one garlic made about 5 or 6 cloves. So now it's like all these little green things all coming up. So I don't know how it's going to turn out, but it's like each clove has, oh, it just disconnected for a minute there. So what I was saying is in the other side of my, my raised bed, I planted garlic in the fall, in the autumn, and it should be normal. So that still will be a few months before the tops. Oh, and this is really cool. And you can grow garlic in Alberta as well, in Saskatchewan and such in Canada. When the garlic starts, when it sends up its flower, it's called a garlic scape. So it's like the same as an onion or an allium. And it has this really long like tail thing. So those you break off, well, or cut off, and you can fry them in a pan with a little bit of margarine or butter, and they, like asparagus, like cook them how you cook asparagus, so steam them, whatever. They're so good. I've only had them once because I've only been growing garlic a few times, and like I said, my garlic last year I accidentally messed up, so I didn't get to have any, but this year I look really forward to having those garlic scapes. Those are yummy. I'll put a picture of those again on for people to see as well. So yeah, I don't even know what time it is. I'm looking forward to eating my dinner after. I like American mustard on my burger, and so I'm gonna have that. Any idea on how to get super glue off someone's fingers if someone accidentally got it over them? No. Do you know what, Samantha? When I do my, obviously asking for a friend, when I do my, oops, sorry table. When I do my like miniatures and stuff and I'm using super glue, I hate that feeling of getting it on my fingers, but it happens. And I personally haven't found anything to get it off. It just kind of wears off. You can get you can take a nail file and you can file it off, and you can try that. But other than that, I just kind of just let it go away. And honestly, I haven't really looked up online. So if any of my viewers know any suggestions how to get rid of super glue for Samantha's friend who has it on their fingers, then that would be helpful. I'm going to take my hair down again because I wasted putting gel in it anyways, so it's not going to go all poofy. So I might as well let my hair hang down and enjoy it. Shaggy. Whoops, that's not right. Sorry. Just give me a second. There. All right. So, yeah, just playing with my hair. Yes, your friend would be forever grateful. So, Samantha, it's good to see that you're on. Can somebody let me know what time it is, and also give me suggestions of things to talk about? I know Samantha gave me some, but they're not coming to mind. I know they had to do with hobbies, I think, and childhood hobbies and stuff. So some of you may or may not know that I've written a journal since I was 6. Yeah, since I was 6 years old, I've written a journal. Obviously, it started in school with thanks for the time. It started in school with, the teacher saying that, you needed to write a journal every day. And so, it was like what the weather was like out or whatever, or how you're feeling that day. And I thought it was a good idea. I used to do it with the kids when they were little too. And they always knew that no matter what they wrote in their journal, I wouldn't read it. They could write whatever they wanted. Their journals are private. But I've written a journal since I was 6, and originally I wanted to get them all published. And so every memory that I have is in my journals. Some of them, like, I will eventually put it where, like, some things I remember when I was little that I didn't write in my journal when I was little, they'll come up later on in my journals, recalling memories and stuff. But anyways, so my point is that I've written a journal for a long time. There's so many volumes of it, and I wanted to get them published. But then I started dating Steve, and he's a lot more private than me, and I also have children, and I realized how, at this point, my life might impact their lives. So I'm not going to get my journals published right now. But I have had some people read them from the beginning till, well, I've only, they're updated till 2010. I've written since then, but they're not, it could be loose entries here and there and everything else, and like I need to compile them and put them together. But up until 2010, and so I've had some people read them, and one person, a few people, like they said they're really good, and they, one person said that it's like a case study for someone, for suffering with depression. And I thought, oh, that's cool, because that's a cool way to look at it, because it's for so many years. It's like a lifetime, you know, case study. So I thought that would be a good use for it. Anyways, my point is that I've had a few people read them back in when I still lived in Canada and give me feedback, but I haven't had anybody read them for a while. So Samantha is in possession of like memory stick, like flash drives with them on, because I took pictures of each page and you can read them that way. And so that is something that when she said to talk about hobbies or hobbies when I was a kid or memories, and then with my journals, it just made me think of all of that in a loop. So obviously something is telling me to think about things from my childhood and memories. And I, for some reason on my computer and on those flash drives, volume 1 of my journals was just gone. I don't know, I must have accidentally deleted it at some point. So I had to go up in the loft and get my journal, and I took it down and took pictures again of each page and sent them to Samantha. But I have them on my phone and I've been reading them. And obviously it starts a bit slow because, you know, when I'm 6 and 7 and 8, it's like, yeah, my house is green, my mom is nice, I love my dad, and the weather out is cold, you know, or something silly. But it gets better. About 12 years old is when I start really writing down my feelings and stuff like that. And that's still in volume 1. And I've been reading it, and it's weird to read it back because it seems like somebody else. It doesn't necessarily seem like me right now. So, and all my poems that I've written over the years are in there, and my dreams, not every dream I've ever had, but if I felt that it was significant enough to write down, then they're in there. And like I've color coded it, so like if you flip through it, it would be like all my poems are written in dark blue, and all my dreams are written in red. And if it's me talking, not just writing, but if I was having a conversation with somebody, or if I was filling out a questionnaire or something, it's like a pale blue is my color for me. And that's how I did like conversations too. So if I was having a conversation with somebody, instead of saying, and then he said, and then she said, and then I said, and then they said, I just would do different colors. So if they, like, it'd be my blue and then a green, and then my blue and then a green, and then my blue and then a green, and then an orange if somebody else spoke. And it just, anyway, so yeah, I'm really excited for Samantha to read those, not just because she's my best friend here and then she gets to know me better, but also because I want to hear the feedback, because eventually I do want to get my journals published still. But I think that my first publishing might be like a limited edition type, like not condensed, but maybe edited, maybe you know, so, like a what would it be called, like if the opposite of R-rated, because I obviously, you know, become an adult and there's things in there that we go through like normal adult life, but there might be like maybe if I do the first I don't know, up until I was 18, those years of my life, but the PG, I guess, like, or the one for kids to be able to read, to be inspired, or to see. I haven't let my kids really read them yet, even though they're getting older, because I don't know what's appropriate. First of all, it's their mom, so I don't know. Right. I mean, I think it would be cool to read my mom's journals if she kept them. I know my mom did have one small journal, and there isn't very many entries in it, but so I think it would be really cool for them to read them. But I don't know what age is appropriate, so do I let them read up until the age that they are at the moment? Then I think no, because they might see things that I've done, but they don't see how I feel about it later, or the consequences, or why I would change that. So I haven't really let them read them at all. And then, like, at the same time, like I said, there's a difference between being friends with people and being a parent to your children, and there's things that they don't need to know. I know this is me saying this, but I don't care what they know about me, really, especially when they become adults. I don't have anything to hide, but it's that as they're growing up right now, as they're children and young adults and finding their own way in life, I want them to have their own identity. I want them to know me as their mom and their, their role model and their strength that way. I don't want them to, not that I don't want them to see that I'm human, because they know a lot of my stories and they know that I'm human, but, there's just some things better kept under wraps until they're older, and then so it's another reason that I'm not publishing them right now. But we'll see what Samantha says, and I'll tell you guys in a few weeks when she starts getting into them, and I'll give you guys some feedback as well to see what she thinks of them. But it is even weird now reading them. It's not like the Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I'm not like that funny, maybe, but there will be entries that are, well, I already know that there's entries that are really intense, and I don't lie to my journal. So anything I was feeling, I didn't have a lot of friends growing up like that I was really close with, and that's not to take away from the ones like Rachel and stuff that I was close with, but suffering with depression, especially because I wasn't diagnosed till I was 18, so I wasn't medicated or anything before that. Even if I did have friends, and I knew my family did love me, I didn't feel like they did, and I didn't feel like I fit in, and like lots of people feel that way. But my way of coping with it was to write it down. So it is like, that's why on Facebook my Peppertooth Raw is called Peppertooth Raw, because that's how I've always written, like everything that I'm feeling. I mean, as you guys know, sometimes I say too much just when I'm talking, let alone when I'm like really writing it out and getting everything out there. So it is raw. Love Rosie by Cecilia Ahern, which are letters between little what? Letters between little, you have to finish writing, Samantha. And I have thought about that too. I don't know if this is where Samantha's going or not, but I have thought about doing, once I get things in order to publish, doing like a book that goes with my journals, kind of like, well, this is what I wrote then, how do I feel about it now that it's so many years later, and this is what I did then, how do I feel about it now, and like a companion book to it that way. It's funny too, because there's so many journals out there now that, and I've actually ordered some, or I'm using some like mindfulness journals and all these things that I'm like, where were these things when I was a kid? And even though I was doing these things myself, why didn't I think to make these for other people? Why didn't I make money off of these things? So hi Carrie. Letters between two best friends and starts when they are 6. Oh God, I mean, Samantha, trust me, that is in there. It's funny that Carrie is watching right now, because Carrie went to school with Rachel, but I was friends with her as well. And that back then, there was no texting or internet. So yeah, everything's in my journals, including me and Rachel writing to each other like pages and pages and pages of letters. So if it was anything in the letter that was significant, it would be written in the journal. But otherwise, in the journals, I reference that the actual letter will be in my scrapbooks, which I have a scrapbook for each year of my life as well. And like, I still have all of our letters. I have all of that stuff, but it's all organized, like I said, in binders or scrapbooks. So I have them all like the volumes. It's pathetic how much stuff I have kept and how organized I am with it. So there is, yes, for the first, I think for the first 3 journals, they're on the flash drives, Samantha, there's the pictures of the scrapbooks that go with them, but I haven't taken pictures of the rest of the stuff either. So, but anything that's important I've referenced in the journal, like I will be like, oh, Rachel wrote me a letter today and she said this, and there might be like the few important things for the journal, and then like, because we would probably just like this rambling, so we would just, I mean, it's not like we would do our work in school. We'd be like, yeah, pretending you're taking notes, looking at the board, and really you're just writing a letter to your friend. So, and like I said, with Carrie watching, I bet I probably have letters from Carrie as well. Actually, I think Carrie is one of the ones who would fold her letters really cool and like, and you tuck it in and it would like stay like that. And yeah, I had to learn how to do all those things, because I'd be like, yeah, that's cool. But, hi Tanya. So, I don't know what time it is now, but I know the rambling hour is probably getting close to being over. I'm just gonna have a drink. So we've talked about, journaling and how good it is for, once I write down everything that I'm thinking, say I'm having a bad day and I need to write it down. Once I write it all down, I feel like it's out of my head and I don't have to think about it anymore. Not that it goes away or that it's solved, but because it's all on paper, I can go back and read that, or I can just let it go, even for a few days. Let it go, and then I can come back to it in a few days and read it and see if it's relevant. And actually, like, even Steve, if me and Steve, we don't fight very often, but if we do, sometimes, you know, I need to walk away because I can be very emotional. As most people know, I'll end up crying or whatever, and then I'll text something, and then he doesn't like texting, he likes talking, which is great, except I get over emotional and then I'm crying and I can't talk very much. So it's me usually, the reason he doesn't like texting is because I'll do like, you know, like 7 paragraphs and he's still on like 2 sentences. But it's good in a way because then we know exactly what we said to each other. I can go back and read it the next day or in a few days, and I can see, like, you know, wow, I'm sorry, I was really wrong. I can't believe that I, you know, said those things, or, you know, whatever. But there's no like, yeah, well, you said this, and no, I didn't say that. It's like, no, actually, we know exactly what we said because it's in there. But like I said, him and I don't argue very often. Well, I mean, in the first few years, it was, you know, you got to get used to being with somebody. But I'm happy to say that we rarely even have a disagreement now. But we still have difference of opinion. Don't get me wrong. But that was just an example because, I mean, this is, like I said, years of me writing. So fights with people. When I was younger, before baby brain, before I got pregnant, I could have a conversation with somebody, say that afternoon on the phone or whatever, and then I could write it in my journal in the evening, and I could remember every word, like, and then he said, and then she said, and I said, and I remember every word. And but after baby brain and now, I'm still pretty good at it, but not as good as I used to be. So letters between Alex and I from high school. That's really cool, Samantha. So Alex is her better other half. Why do I say that? Samantha is the better half. Wait, how do you say that when you say it, like, so he's my other half, I'm the better half, but you're joking, but I don't know why I said. Anyways, Alex is Samantha's other half, and they've known each other since they were little, and they dated a bit when they were younger, but then they split up for quite a few years, and then they got back together, and they've been together now for quite a few years, and they have babies. Well, they have, yeah, babies together, and yeah, so that's really cool that you have the letters from when you guys were younger. Do you know what's funny is like I said before with knowing Steve, I knew him for a couple years before we even knew we had feelings for each other. So when I used to send out my annual Christmas letter to everyone, I actually sent like Christmas cards and Christmas letters here to Steve and his family before I knew that him and I would be dating or get married. It is so weird to look back at pictures of us in those first 2 years and think, like, it's so weird just to see us sitting beside each other and think, like, how did we not know that, well, I guess you don't know who you're going to marry necessarily, but how did we not know that we even had feelings for each other? How does that, I've just always been that person that I either feel something for someone or I don't, and I always knew that I got along with him and I thought he was funny and everything else, but it's so weird to me anyways that those romantic feelings could, like, come out of nowhere. They're on Facebook. The photos of me and Steve are on Facebook in, like, 2012 was my first retreat. So under my photo albums, it'll be like, it'll say Ontario 2012 or Retreat 2012. And then 2013, same thing, like Ontario 2013 or whatever. And then 2014, Ontario 2014 is when me and Steve realized we had feelings for each other. But neither of us really did anything until, like, the last night we were there. Yeah, so I got all ready and made myself look good. And actually, there's a photo of us that day too. It's one of my favorite pictures. And I had really long hair like this. That was before I shaved my head for cancer. But I got ready to look really good, and we were gonna go for a walk. And he did, again, this is before either of us had said anything or that, you know, about having feelings for each other. But by the time we were both ready to go for a walk, everybody else was like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. So then the rest of the group were like, going for a walk with us. And then it was like, yeah, it was just like, yeah, let's all go for a walk. So it wasn't until later that night when one of my friends at the retreat, Leanne, me and her, Steve would always have people in his hotel room. Like, it's not a hotel, it's like it's open, like the doors are like to the outside. So after the evenings, people would meet in Steve's room and have drinks or whatever. That was just the normal thing to do. So the last evening, me and Leanne went and we were having drinks there, and I was pretending that that I wasn't feeling good, lying on the couch, and I was trying not to talk, which is really hard for me. And I was just thinking, okay, if I'm just quiet and I don't say anything and I'm not, not feeling good, then maybe the night will end sooner and Leanne will go, well, I guess I should go to bed. It's getting late kind of thing. And it took forever, but finally she did. And then that's when I was like, okay, it's now or never. I got to do something. I got to make a move. And I just, I just asked Steve if it was inappropriate if we snuggled, because I was, lonely and I liked him, and a snuggle always feels nice. And I knew that he was separated, and but I asked if it was inappropriate because he was also my teacher and I was his student, and I really didn't want to wreck that dynamic. So if I was going to be shot down, and like I said, I had to take the chance because it was now or never, right? But if I was going to be shot down, I didn't want to ruin that dynamic between him and Jackie and me, them being my teachers and my mentors and everything. Luckily, it's the way it is now, but even from saying, is it inappropriate if we snuggled, it was the next morning when we were going to breakfast before our last day of classes and stuff, and he had forgot something, and I was going into the other place, like the restaurant area where we have dinner, and right in the doorway, he was wearing a suit jacket because we were getting our certificates that day for finishing the retreat, and he had forgot something. So in the doorway, he snuck a kiss, and he's like, "Oh, I'll be right back." And he gave me this little kiss, and I remember being in the doorway, and in my mind, I thought, I could see myself married to that guy. And who would have thought that here we are married? Like, we just had our 3-year anniversary, as you guys know. And yeah, it's such a bizarre story. So weird how life is. And I'm in England. And it's weird because some people think like that, wow, you've moved across the world and, that's a brave thing to do or whatever they say about it. And at first I even said to him, like, obviously it's not meant to be because I'm not moving anywhere. I don't want to leave Canada. But at the same time, when it's the right thing, it's the right thing. And I don't care where we live in the world as long as we're together and our family's together. And yeah, it's just weird how it all worked out. And it just seemed right. Like the steps just went in order. And it seems, so when you look at it from the outside, living across the world, bringing the kids here, everything else, it seems like a crazy big move. But if you knew the steps of it, it worked out the way it's supposed to. But it is a far, far away from, my home, my back there. But so grateful for technology and things like this, even if, like I said, even if I'm talking to myself. But I know I'm not, because I can see that you guys are on watching. So I will stop babbling about my love life and my journals and my memories and everything else, because I'm guessing that it's probably close to the time. So anybody want to tell me the time? I really need to have another phone or something here to let me know the time. There is an over there, but so I could ask her what time it is. I don't want to say the name in case you guys have them in your house, and I don't want to set yours off, but I'm sure one of you guys will tell me the time. And yeah, so I guess this week I'll try and get some seedlings started and let you guys know what I start. But I'm really, really trying to take care of the plants that I have, whether in the house or outside. I'm trying to focus on the ones that I have and take really good care of them and treat them special instead of buying or making new plants. Because what's the point if I keep buying new ones and having so many if the ones that I have are suffering? So I want to focus and nurture and take care of the ones that I do have. And if some die, then just, like I said, when my plants die, I ask my dad in heaven to take care of them and put them in my garden there. But yeah, so I will try and start some seedlings this week, but I don't want to go crazy. I don't want to do too many, but I want to do, like I said, things that we're actually going to eat, things that I'm going to use. So I'm going to start some squash. I can do tomatoes, because Steve will eat tomatoes. But, I mean, I eat them too, but that sometimes I get a reaction to them and stuff. So I'm allergic to a lot of things, but I also want to grow some basil, because I got the garlic growing, and you get olive oil, and I bought pine nuts, and then basil, and you grind it up, and you can make pesto. So I want to make homemade pesto this year as well. And what was I thinking about? Tomatoes. Oh, I was going to say one day I went into Subway, and I said, I was telling them what I wanted on my sub, and then I said tomatoes, and she put mayo, and it was a sub that didn't taste good with mayo, even though I like mayo. It was not the one for mayo. And I said tomato, and she thought I said mayo, and before I knew it, she added mayo on there, and I couldn't take it off. So now when I go into the Subways here, I say tomato, but I still say jalapeno for jalapenos, but sometimes it's funny to say jalapeno. Anyways, I don't want him to mess up my sub, so I say tomato. But that sounds weird too with my Canadian accent and then saying tomato. Like, I think I'm so posh. One word that I say a little more posh than people do here is garage. People in Canada, we say garage, I think. And here they say garage. No, I don't know how they say it here, but I like the word garage. So I say garage. Shouldn't have shoveled. It's starting to snow again. So Mom says it's snowing again back there. I'm sorry to hear that. It is. This week it is just below 0 every night. So I know that's not cold for you guys, but it had been a little bit nicer the last week or so. And now it's just this week it's below 0 going into March overnight. So I still can't take my plants out of the guest house and the greenhouse. I can't stick them outside. Once it starts staying above 0, and I could technically put them all out, and then if there's a -0, put them back in, but I'm lazy. Garage. Oh yeah, garage. I think that's how they say it here, garage. But I like garage. Put my car in the garage. So, yes. Anyways, I am going to finish this up for tonight, and I will see you guys next Sunday. Season 2, episode 10. That'll be backwards. Season 2, episode 10 next week. Yes, Lazy Lisa. That is me. That's what my mom called me. So, next week, 8 p.m. You know what? I did look it up again, and I can't remember what it's called, but UK time, anyways, 8 p.m. and Mountain Standard Time, 1 p.m. So if you're in Canada, go off of that, 1 p.m. Mountain Standard and 8 p.m. here in the UK. Tune in next week when I will hopefully have a guest, because I won't be so absent-minded. And I hope you guys enjoyed today, and I will put those videos and pictures in either do you know, I'm not doing this today, so don't expect it today, but I want to make an album on Facebook, and it'll have everything that we talk about on these episodes. I'll just put an album, and I'll put the pictures and videos into that album. And also, I am going to put my lives on YouTube eventually, and have things there too. So what I'm saying is, things that we talked about today that I said about the spaghetti squash and different things, I'll put the pictures of the videos so that you guys can see what we were talking about. And other than that, I will see you guys next week, and love you. And I'm going to do the 20 questions with our guest, whoever our next guest is. And that will hopefully keep you guys' attention, and it'll be more interesting than me just rambling on about my love life. All right. Love you guys too. Okay, bye. Have a good week, everyone, and we will see you next Sunday. All right. Love you. Bye.